Hi, welcome back. I'm Julie Torrens. We're going to be finishing this acrylic painting that we started on a collage background that we've been working on. The only thing I did while you were gone was I just repenciled in some of my guidelines that I lost. I've got just a handful of some of my acrylic brushes, and there's nothing special about them. And I still have my Dilutions paints, which is what I'd like to just keep in this family. But I have added the purple because I didn't have a purple color that I like to use for the shading. And I've got some white. I also got some yellow because I wanted some color for brightness. Now I have this yellow that I'm going to try to use, but I know this is an awful transparent color, so I may need to either bump it up with a little of my heavy body acrylic yellow, and this is cadmium yellow light, and I also grabbed the white. Now I did use the Artist Loft light portrait pink in this, and I had mixed it with some of the desert sand. So what of these we're going to use, I'm not sure. I've got 2 water containers to double rinse, and I've got a paper plate to use for when I want to mix some colors. So I want to start filling her in, and I'm going to start with some of that white. I've been using for white my Liquitex gesso. It's white. So I think I'll start with that because I wouldn't mind if some of the collage shows through or other colors. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that because I want to fill in to start with the eyes. Just because I feel like I'm going to wet my brush. I feel like if I get these eyes filled in, it does help so that you can sort of get a feel for the rest of the picture. So I'm just getting the white, the sclera of the eyes. Now, this will dry more translucent than what you see, and that's fine. So how are you? This is a part 2. In the part 1, we went ahead and got the collage background done, and then just a little bit of fleshing in of the colors of her face. I do want her to be colorful, so I'm not going to use typical colors, and she is not supposed to be photorealistic by any imagination. I'm just transferring some of the white from this side and bringing it over to the other side. And I know you can probably see some pencil marks, and I really don't care if some of these pencil marks end up showing up. And I'm just going to put this highlight here because I'm hoping by doing this I'll be able to use more of the yellow that we've already have in our kit rather than using the heavy body. So you know what I mean? I want to try to be able to stick. I think if you keep your limited palette, you just get more harmony in the picture or the painting overall. That's at least how it feels to me. So I'm just putting in some of the highlighted areas that I feel like they'll be. This is the shaded side. This is going to be the more light side. But there's still going to be some light always wanting to show up. So I'm just laying in a little bit of white here and there. Are you working in your journal? Have you been practicing faces, or what have you been doing in your art journal? I'm interested. Maybe you're still looking for one. Maybe you haven't bought one yet or made one. Better yet. Okay, I do want kind of a shine over her lips. So I'm going to go ahead and put some white right in on the top of her lip and a little bit where the shine would be on the bottom. But again, I'm just adding some highlights with the idea that these will be covered over. But I would just like the paint to have the advantage of this lighter underneath the paint. And I'm just putting more white in over the top, just in what I think would be the lightest part of the orbit of her eye. Now, I'm gonna give her a little shine, you know, in this neck structure, throat structure. And I think we did good on this for shine. I'm gonna add just a little bit more on the top of her shoulders. Okay. All right, I think I'll next start with, I need to decide her eye color. I've got this blue. This is called Blue Lagoon. I'm gonna add some of that to my palette. And I'm going to add some of this, and I think this is, well, I don't want to guess. Let's see. This is Island Parrot. So kind of a blue-greeny shade. Let's just start with that and see what we get. Switching to a little square brush and get the water off of it. I'm going to just start right out with the straight Island Parrot, and I'm leaving some white underneath, and I'm not making it a circle. I'm making it more of a U shape and then filling it in. And let's get that in on this side. And I'm leaving just a tiny bit of white showing there. I'd like, if I can, that her eyes look like they're in the same place, left to right. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, I like that really well. Now I'm going to take some of this blue and I'm going to go ahead and fill in again where I see more of the dark, shadowy color. The purple is going to shine through. And this could end up being covered up with hair, I don't know, but we're just going to get this started. A little bit of the shadow over here. Again, a little shadow. This is the lighter side, this is the darker side. And then maybe where I'm kind of guessing her hairline could end up just having a little bit of that blue there. Yep, I like that. I'm going to head this down her throat where I believe we're going to have more shadow on this side. This is looking good to me. I like the brush strokes that are showing up from the squareness of this brush. I think that looks good. Okay. Little shadow of her arm. Great. All right. Now, rinsing and then double rinsing. I'm going to add a tiny bit of this green into her eyes. Almost like it's maybe a reflection of something that she's seeing. And give that, yeah, I'm liking that. Sometimes I just have to lean back a little bit so that I can sort of see what I'm doing here. All right, now this is a lighter shade, and I think what I'm going to do is grab some of this blue and mix these two together and get kind of a mid-tone and lay it in a little bit. Kind of adding it to the edge of the shadow. And more on this side. Yep. I'm sitting back so that I can see even better. At least that's my theory. Yep. So far, I'm okay with this. All right, let's think about those lips. I'm gonna start out with a pinkish tone. This is called Strawberry Daiquiri. And again, if my memory serves me right, this is a little less of the transparent, but I could be wrong. And I'm gonna just start with that on its own. I'm seeing blue in my brush. So let's get that out. These acrylics, you know, they take a little bit more of a rinsing off than the watercolors that I use more often. So I just have to kind of remember that. Okay, now let's get this. Now this is going to really be on the shadow side, but I'm just going to fill in her whole lip with this. It is more transparent than I remembered, but that's okay. I'm leaving that little white shine. I'll just fill it in over the top. And I'm liking this just good. This is good. Okay, I'm going to add a little of this towards her cheek colors. And again, this is the lighter side. I think I'm going to take it right up to under her eye. And you know, acrylics, they are forgiving, so I can always take some off. Not really take it off, but cover it up. And let's get this going here on the shadow side. Yep. I'm okay with this. Okay. I'm just smoothing out any place that looks just a little too brushy. All right. I want to get some more dark. I'm going to get bold. This color is called Balmy Night. It's dark. And let's just see how we can work some of this in. And again, this could end up being colored in or colored over by her hair. I don't know yet. All right, now I kind of want to bring like a jawline to her. And then I want to shade under this lip. Yep. And then maybe I'll start even with this part of her mouth. I'm okay with that. Okay, her eye. Get around this nostril here. Yep. And then this eye. Yep. I'm sorry I'm getting quiet. Kind of where a chin is going to start to show up. Now I want to get a little bit of this color in here. Otherwise, to me, the shoulders won't look like they even belong. And I do want these shoulders to belong. Okay. Yep, she's looking good to me. She's looking really good. Now, a little more darkness. This side. Okay. Just a little bit of something there. A little bit of something here. Okay. Okay. She's got some wet areas. I think I'm going to work on another coat on these lips. I'm going to add, this is Tropical Sangria. Just a dot, which is just like a really high intense pink. But then I've got this, which is called Pink Flamingo, and it's really more of a reddish shade. Put it over here. I'm going to start out, and let's really rinse this. Get all the water off of my ferrule. Okay, well, I'm taking the darker of the two, and I'm going to work on this upper lip. So many times when I'm doing these details, when I see it in the editing, I'm just like, stop too much, or no, keep going, keep going. I can see such a different view of what I'm doing than when I'm doing it here with, with my eyes. I'm not using anything else in there. All right, I like that. I like that real well. And I'm just going to put, again, I want the harmony of color, so I'm just going to put a little bit of this in here to show. I don't like when the color is just in one place. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this color and I'm going to go ahead and put her little tear ducts in. And then as tiny as I can get, I'm going to get that little water line in here with this color. This is going to help her eye have roundness. Yep, I'm liking that just fine. Okay, I'm going to add a little of this red here. Yep, a little here. I like the redness. It doesn't, to me, look like she's got a cold. It's looking fine. Let's put a little in here. A little up here. I'm trying to give her a little more definition to her chin. Okay, I'm liking that. Now I'm going to take this pink. This brush may have just a tiny bit of that red left in it, but I'm okay. And I'm just going to add a little bit. Not a lot. Ever so slight. Yep, good. And you know what? I'm going to add a little of this pink to her eyeball. I sure am. Not a lot, but just a little shine. Yep. It more to look like something that maybe she can see, like it's leaving a reflection. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of this pink to her face. Okay. All right. I am going to add a little bit of white. I'm taking a round brush this time. I'm going to take some of this gesso. I'm going to add some in here because I'm feeling like this is getting awfully dark. I want it dark, but wow. Maybe just a little bit over here. I'm happy with this. and this shine. Okay. All right, let's consider going back into her eye. I'm going to take the white and I'm going to give her just a little bit of white underneath where I think the pupil's going to be. I'm whitening up just by that waterline of her eye. You want her to have that pink, but you don't want it to look like she's got pink eye. Okay? I think the next thing she's going to need is some eyebrows. So I'm going to have to mix up a brown. So I'm going to start with this green. I'm going to add some of this blue color. And I'm going to add a little bit of this orange. A little more orange. It needs red. Add some of this red. Let's see what we get. I may get more of a gray than I get. Add a little more of this. Needs more green. There we go. We're getting a brown shade now. You can just mix and mix and mix and you got a whole bucket of color and it's still not what you want. All right, let's go with this. I think it's got a brown look. All right, her eyebrows. And I can always put her hair over it. Okay. I'm sorry if my hand is in your way. I think I'm going to go ahead and put it in the rest of the way. Because again, I can put the hair on top. All right. That's good. Now her eyelashes, I'm going to put those in last, but they're not going to be very exact. All right. I want a darker shade. Let's see about this color that we just made. Add a little of this orange. And I want to create just like the underside of her nose. Like that. Okay. All right, I'm going to take my red color and I'm going to add a little more definition here to her bottom lip. Okay. Well, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Let's think about her hair. Where are we going with that? Oh, I'm going to get a heavier brush. I'm going to get some of that, nope, this. And this is that Balmy Night. And I'm going to start with some of this tan. This is a desert sand. All right, now I'm really leaning back so I can try to see where I kind of want to put her hair. I think I want a bigger brush. Let's see. I'm going bold. I want to get it wet. I'm going to start out with the tan. And here. I'm just blocking in some color. All right, now I'm going to add some of this blue. Can you see? I'm adding some of this blue to this tan. Because it's going to be like darker on this side and a little bit of darkness in here. Yep. A little more even here, darker. Now I'm just trying to add some movement to her hair. That's a nice light. That came out light. Good. I need more desert sand. And you can see, I mean, I'm not doing anything with any precision. I'm just giving this brush a twist. I'm trying to kind of dry brush some little wildy hairs. All right, she's coming along great. I'm liking it. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm really rinsing this big old brush out. I'm sorry for the noise. Okay. I'm going to get some of this skin color again, or whatever this is. And I'm tempted to just add it with my finger. Is this wet? Yes. I'm taking it right out of the tube. And I'm just going to add, because where these lines of two different colors are, I'm just adding a little of the skin tone. I'm going to do the same on this side. And I'm leaning way back, trying to just see a little bit of what I'm doing here. This might be one of those pictures that I'm going to have to sit it on the couch and walk way back from it. My couch is going away today. I bought a new one because I've got my sister coming. I'm so excited. But I bought a hide-a-bed. So my current couch, which I've had for over a decade, not that it's bad, but it's not serving its purpose anymore because I want to have company. See, I'm just adding ever so slightly on the edges of this hard colors just to try to just soften them up a little bit. But I don't want to lose them. And there would be a bit of a transition between the dark and the light. So I'm, again, kind of a dry brush. Okay. All right, I think I want to get that hair color. Give it a good rinse, Julie. And this just looks kind of like mumps to me. So I want to put her hair in here. Now I need the dark. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Get some of this tan. Yeah. Okay, I'm sticking my head in, I'm sure, but I'm just trying to get different angles because I can't always see because of the shine, because of the lights I have on, which is good. All right, putting the cap on that. All right, I want to get her pupils in, but I really would rather use a Sharpie. I'm grabbing. All right, let's see. We're doing mixed media, so we don't have to be afraid. And I'm hoping this is, yes, it's working. Yeah, I like the control. Those look good to me. Now I am going to use some colored pencil and still work with her a little bit, but so far I am liking her. I want to give her some eyeshadow. I don't think she'd have too crazy of eyeshadow, but I still want to give her some. I've got some of this Island Parrot. I'm going to start with that because it is fairly transparent. And just using the shading I already have and going right over it. Yep, I'm liking that okay. Yep, I like that. I think I'm gonna, and now I'm getting real daring. I think I'm gonna give her just a little bit of a smoky eye. Like that. Yep. Yep. I like this blue here. Just adding some around her chin. Uh-huh. I like that. Oh, sometimes I do this. You know, I get a color going and I just kind of go nuts with it. I got to be careful. All right. I'm liking that. Okay, her hair looks a little flat to me. So I want to lighten it up a little bit, like highlighty. I'm going to go ahead and get some of this gesso, and then some of this mixture. I want both the light and the dark. Add a little more dark. And let's see what I can do. I want this brush fairly dry. Oh yeah, that's light. Oh, but I think it needed it. How we doing? This is the light side. That makes me happy. I like this. Yep. Yep. That's good. I think it's got good dimension and just all that. I think it's looking good. All right. Now, I want to take this darker blue. I think I want a round brush, or this. This is like a tiny little square brush. That's fine. I want to take this white, a good amount, and literally a tap of that, because I want to make a gray-ish. Tiny tap more. Won't take long to get too much. And what I want to do is round out her eyes just a little more. And so now I've got an awful lot on my brush and I don't want that much. So, all right, here's what I'm going to do. Like, bring this around color. I don't see any difference. I don't see any difference. More blue. More blue. Okay, try again. Yes. You might not be able to see that, but truly it is making a difference. I'm going to go into the darker little area. Yep. And now I want to drag that right over the top of everything. Like that. Round the inner corner. Right over the top of everything. And my brush is like a little too thick. I just want the corner. There we go. Going right over the iris, right There. There. Yep. I like that. Yes, I do. I'm going to grab just a little bit of this dark, because I've got this like rogue color showing. I don't even know what it is, but it's showing where it should be the shadow of her mouth. Okay. Okay. I'm liking her. Don't know how you guys feel about her, but I'm liking her. I'm going to go back and grab that tube of Portrait Pink. Get a different flat brush and do that edges on her neck like I did, just to soften these edges just a bit. I'm getting confused, like she's got a V-neck shirt on because of the color. So I just don't want that. Yep, I like that a lot better. I think I'm going to just do a little bit. I'm going to mix it with some gesso. I want more pigment than I want gesso. Too much paint. Yep. Yep. Soften this white just a little. The white areas to me just look almost like chalk. I'd rather have the whitest part be her eyes. So I'm just softening all this colorization again. Oh, that's way too light. Let's get rid of some paint here. Lighten that up. When I say lighten it up, bring the blue back a little. Okay. She's looking good to me. I think her upper lip is too small. So what I'm going to do is get that red tone and bring this down a little bit. And that is this flamingo, pink flamingo, yeah. Okay, I like that better. All right, I think it's time to add two things, clothes and her details with colored pencil. All right, clothes. I'm just grabbing this pink and I'm grabbing this orange. And I want just the suggestion of some clothes. and her shoulders are showing. So, you know, it can be like a tank top or something. Yep. I like that. Right down to the bottom. All right. Well, she's changed a lot, huh? Let's get, I'm just going to get rid of this palette. There's just very little bit of paint on there. I'm going to give her a dry. Even though I realize I'm only drying the top. And then we're going to work with some colored pencils. Here we go. So I'm not taking you away immediately when I'm drying because I want to talk to you. I'm going to be using colored pencils. Now, you know that, number one, I don't like drying acrylic. I normally wouldn't. I would normally walk away from this and come back either tonight or tomorrow. But because I want to be able to work with you, I want to do this now. Second thing is colored pencils, although they may end up gouging a little bit into the acrylic paint where the acrylic paint just has a skin dry, even though it feels dry to me. That can happen. But all I have to do is sharpen the pencil. Compared to if I was going to be working with markers, I'm just feeling, if I was working with markers, well then no, I would ruin the markers. It just would. Because a heat gun cannot really cure. So let's get out the colored pencils, and I'm grabbing them right here. So I've got my Prismacolor Premier. It's a 72 box, and let's open her up. And let's start with the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to take, I want a darkish greenish blue. This is aquamarine. I think I want even a little darker. Now I think this is probably indigo. Yeah, let's just look and see if we have something that's just a little bit of a darker greenish blue. This is called parrot green. That's going to have some blue in it. All right, this. I like this. And I grabbed it something, it broke off, whatever. So it's HASS green. Don't know because there's another letter there, but it's gone. It got rubbed off. All right, so I'm just going around her iris. And the main thing I want to do is kind of smooth it out. Because, you know, your iris is going to be smoother. That's good. Now I'm going to take the same color and go from the pupil out to the edge and go all the way around that way, because that's the construction of your iris. So I'm just going from the iris, from the pupil out to the edge of the iris. And there, okay? That already gives her some life, doesn't it? Okay, I want to give her just a little bit more eye features. And I think that's where I'm going to head into this indigo. And I'm going to put the corner of her eye in and then bring this up and then go here. I don't want to go on top of the waterline. Same here. And I am kind of, again, smoothing it out just a little bit. I think I lost the waterline on this side. That's all right. I can add it back in with pencil. And I'm I'm going to make this just a little heavier. And this too. Kind of eyelinerish. I'm going to make this a little heavier. Kind of the smoky eye look. Okay. Already, I'm liking that. I'm going to take this and just ever so lightly, I'm going right on the edge of where I put that gray to round out her eye. Good. All right, I need some kind of a pinkish reddish color. We'll try this and see if I can correct this water line a little bit. Yeah, I think that's better. Good. Going right into the corner, each side. All right, I like that better. Now, do I want black to indicate some eyelashes? And their eyelashes are just a suggestion. And now I'm just real little bit here. I want it almost that you're really more seeing the shadow of the bulk of her eyelashes rather than individual lashes. I don't think we would see individual lashes. All right, where there is this white shine, I'm going to just cover it with a little pink. Yep, I think that looks a little more natural. All right, I'm not going to do a whole lot more to her. I think I'm going to add a little bit of highlighty hair. I'm going to use some canary yellow. And I'm just going to add some of these curls. Yep, I'm good with this. Now I want to get more of a color that is her hair. What color is this? Boy, and it needs sharpening. We're going to give it a go. Burnt ochre. That's awful yellow. Let's dig in and see if we can find... Well, what's this? Dark brown. Let's give that a go. Low lights, huh? Yep. Good. I'm going to use this to make some strays. Sticking out beyond the cap. And also on her face. Yep. Yep. All right. I need something darker around the edge of her eye. I'm going to go back to the indigo and give this iris just a little more dark. Good. Yep. Just that little suggestion of lashes. Maybe a couple here. Yeah. All right. I like her. I like her. I like her. All right. Just do something here. Giving her some sketchy marks. I just feel like it needs it. With this indigo. Yeah. I like that. All right. Indigo in the eyes. Just that from the pupil out through the iris. Yep. Well, folks, I like her very much. All right, white. Sometimes I can get some highlights. Sometimes I can't. But I'm gonna see if I can just add a little bit of highlight to her lip. And I want this upper lip to show some shine. I want the edge of her nostrils to show some shine. Soften this up. Pop out her sclera just a little bit more. I'm going to see, I want maybe a little bit, this will work, lighten up right over the top of her eye. But I'm over the eyeliner. Yep. Okay. I am grabbing my white jelly roll. And I'm going to give her a little dot here. Another one, smaller. And then one that races right across her iris. This is what gives her eye life and dimension. Needs more here. That is something that would be the same right eye to left eye. So I think this one's lost. I'm going to add a few little dots of this white right over the top of her eye here. Again, I'm over the eyeliner. Yep, I like that. I want to add some to this lip. Now, here I am using a pen. I'm going to have to be careful because I could be lifting some of this acrylic. I'm just reinforcing some of these lines. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, I like this double page spread very much. I'm going to give this a sign. Well, I hope that nobody wants to see it because they're not going to see that. Let's grab another pen. Here we go. And there we have it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this double page spread. I hope maybe you found it encouraging, maybe instructional or informational. Please, if you did, give it a thumbs up and share, like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.